Good morning, my dear student. 8th standard subject science, chapter number 5, inside the atom. Have you heard about this word? Atom. We can say that an atom is a particle which is a part of matter. It is very small, which you cannot observe with your naked eye. So that is an atom. Now, what is matter? Matter is a substance which is having a specific mass. So we have seen that matter is made up of molecules. Obviously, it is made up of molecules means it has a specific mass. Molecules are formed from atoms. Molecules, through the molecules we are getting a matter, and molecules are formed of atoms, formed from atoms. So you can imagine how atoms is very small. Effectively, an atom is the smallest unit of matter. An atom is the smallest particle of an element which retains its chemical identity in all physical and chemical changes. Atoms gives us physical identity, which gives us its physical as well as chemical changes. Now in this box you can observe here lot of formulae of substance given over here, and we can complete this table with our knowledge. Okay, so here first of all I am reading this above boxes from first row. Name of substance, formula, the smallest particle of a substance. Whatever substance present in over here, we can say the smallest particle, what type of smallest particle present in it, and it's what type of atom it is, whether it is molecule, whether it is an atom, it is single type of molecule, or we can say it is different types of atoms is present in it, and types of matter also we can define with the help of element and compound. Let me tell you one thing, and it is, if a single atom or if a single atom is there, then single naming of anything. Likewise, helium is single atom, it is single atom, and if when it is coming towards a water, then this is not a single atom, because with water hydrogen oxygen is mixed over here, so it is a part of molecule. So you just keep in your mind difference between single atom and molecule. When the molecule will be there, then a mixture of an atom will be there, and if the atom is there, then it will be single, presentation of it is single. Okay, now next is name of substance. Name of substance, water, and its chemical formula is H2O. We all know water's chemical formula is H2O. Now definitely it is not an atom, obviously it will be a molecule, because it is a mixture of atoms, so we can say it as it is a molecule. Now next, tell me, single type of atoms in a molecule, presence of single type of molecule is there? No, obviously no. Here hydrogen as well as oxygen is there, so we cannot say single type of atoms in the molecule are there. So we can say that different types of atoms in the molecule, because hydrogen and oxygen is there. Now next, is it element or compound? Obviously it is a compound. When it is element, when the single type of atom is there, then that it is element. Now the mixture of atoms are there, so we can say it as it is a compound. Okay, next example, oxygen. Now oxygen, you can observe here 2 is written there, but it is a formula of oxygen only. So whenever we are writing oxygen, we are writing with it 2 only, and why I will tell you at next level, means 9th standard. Okay, now just listen why, whether it is an atom or molecule. Okay, why we are writing 2 over here? Answer for this is at next level. So this is oxygen, and it is single form of, there is no mixture of an atom, so we can say it as it is a molecule because oxygen is there. It is a single type of molecule and it is an element. Next is helium. Now helium is single He, so it is an atom. Number of molecules, obviously it is a single, then it is an element only. Next, hydrogen. Two hydrogens are there, it is same with oxygen, so it will be a molecule, single type, and element will be there. Okay, just mark it out in your book. Now next, ammonia, it is NH3, and nitrogen and hydrogen combination is there, so obviously it is a molecule. Then different types of atoms in the molecule presents, and it is a compound. Now next is nitrogen. N2 is there, so it is a molecule but single types of atoms present in there, and it is an element. Next is CH4, which is the formula of methane. So here is the combination of two atoms, so I can say it is a molecule, different types of atoms present in it, and it is a compound. Okay, now next is argon, Ar, so it is a single atom, single type, and element. Next, neon, it is an atom, single type, and element. Okay, now chlorine, so it will be a molecule because CO2, Cl2, sorry, and single type atoms present in it, and it is an element. Okay, so this type of your chart, I hope you all have understood this chart, and you all have to write this chart in your homework notebook. Make a name of chapter and write down this chart in your homework notebook. This is a part of extra activity which you have to write in your book only. Okay, so whenever I will call you, that time you all have to come with this book, because few marks are there in for your homework book. Okay, and this is the types of substances which we have seen. Now we have learned in earlier standard the smallest particle of most of the substances are molecules. The molecules of few substances contain only one atom. Molecules are formed by chemical combination of atoms. From this we have understand the smallest particle of an element taking part in a chemical combination is an atom. The concept of atom is more than 25,000 years old. However, it was forgotten in the course of time. In the modern time, scientists, on the basis of experiments, explain the nature of atom as well as the internal structure of an atom. And it started with Dalton's atomic theory. The structure and the figure of an atom is described by Dalton. So let's go ahead with this theory. Dalton's atomic theory. British scientist John Dalton put forth in 1803 AD his celebrated atomic theory. According to this theory, matter is made of atoms and atoms are invisible and indestructible. Dalton's atomic theory. British scientist John Dalton put forth in 1803 AD his celebrated atomic theory. According to this theory, matter is made up of atoms and atoms are invisible and indestructible. All atoms of an element are alike, while different elements have different atoms with different mass. So, to understand this, John Dalton considered a bundi laddu concept. You all have an idea of this bundi laddu. how it makes. So it is found to have an internal structure. It is formed by sticking smaller particles, the bundis, to each other. However, the solid ball, broadly speaking, does not have any internal structure. Obviously, the bundi laddu does not have any internal structure. With the help of these small particles of bundi, the bundi laddu comes out. Okay, so based on this, the atom as described by Dalton turns out to be a very hard, which is a part like if you all compare with this bundi laddu, then bundis will be a your atom, and solid sphere with no internal structure. With this atom are having very hard and no internal structure. According to Dalton's atomic theory, mass is distributed uniformly in an atom. So as per Dalton's description, we can define a mass of this atom. So sir, the scientist J.J. Thomson demonstrated experimentally that negatively charged particles inside an atom have a mass 1800 times less than a hydrogen atom. Whatever mass of an hydrogen, so as compared to hydrogen mass, the mass of negatively charged was 18 times less than that of hydrogen mass. Listen carefully, the mass of an atom is 1800 times less than of the mass of hydrogen atom. The mass of negatively charged atom has a mass as compared to 1800 times less than the hydrogen atom. Okay, later these particles were named as electron, and they are naming it as electron. Common substances are usually electrically neutral. Whenever you are using a common substance, it is electrically neutral. But why? How? So obviously the molecules of substances and atom which combine chemically to form molecules are electrically neutral. Obviously whatever the number of electrons are there, the number of positron also are there, so it becomes electrically neutral. So how is an atom electrically neutral in spite of having negatively charged electrons in it? So Thomson overcome this difficulty by putting forth plum pudding model of atomic structure. So Thomson plum pudding model of an atom. The plum pudding model of an atom put forth by Thomson in year 1904, and this was description by for an atom. It was derived at 1803 AD. Now this is in 1904 and is the first atomic structure. According to this model, positively charged distributed throughout the atom and a negatively charged electron embedded in it. So in it, whatever the number of positron are there, the same number of electrons are also there. So hence it is become neutral. So the distributed positive charge is balanced by the negative charge of an electron. Therefore, the atom becomes electrically neutral. So there might be a question, how atoms become electrically neutral. So we can say the number of distributed positive charge is balanced by the negative charge electrons. Therefore, atom becomes electrically neutral. Here is the diagram for Thomson plum pudding model of an atom. Next topic is Rutherford's nuclear model of an atom. Rutherford studied the inside of an atom by his celebrated scattering experiment and put forth nuclear model of an atom in the year 1911. So Rutherford took a very thin gold foil which has a thickness around 10 to the power of minus 4 millimeter. You can imagine how much thickness was there, and bombarded it with positively charged alpha particles emitted by a radioactive element. I will show you in the video this part. Okay. He observed the path of alpha particles by means of fluorescent screen around the gold foil. It was expected that the alpha particles would get reflected from the gold foil if The positively charged mass were evenly distributed inside the atoms unexpectedly. The most of alpha particles went straight through the foil. A smaller number of alpha particles get deflected from the original path through the small angle. A still smaller number of alpha particles get deflected through a larger angle of surprisingly 1 alpha particle out of 20,000 bounce back in the direction opposite to the original path. Listen carefully all this explanation because I want to show you the video part of the same. So this was the scenario of the same Rutherford scattering experiment. This is fluorescent screen and this is golden foil which is having a thickness of 10 raised to the power of minus 4 millimeter, and here are the alpha particle emitter. So Rutherford scattering experiment, the large number of alpha particles that went straight through the foil indicates that there was no obstacle in their path. It means that there must be mainly an empty space inside the atom in this solid gold foil. The small number of alpha particles that get deflected through a small or big angle must have faced an obstacle in their path. It means that positively charged and heavy part causing obstruction would be in the center of an atom. From this, Rutherford put a forth nuclear model has for atom. So this is the model you can observe here. Rutherford's atomic model. This is the nucleus and electrons are revolving around it. So point number 1, there is a positively charged nucleus at center of an atom. 2, almost the entire mass of the atom is concentrated in the nucleus. Point number 3, negatively charged particles are called electrons revolve around the nucleus. Point number 4, the total negative charge on all the electron is equal to the positive charge on the nucleus, which we have seen earlier also. As the opposite charges are balanced, the atom is electrically neutral. There, obviously, there is an empty space between the revolving electron and the atomic nucleus. Let's go ahead with the visualization of this Rutherford experiment. How this model comes over there, because the few charges which are you can observe here, this is the nucleus. The same model I'll show you. Listen carefully, student, and observe carefully. Very important, read it carefully.
At the time he carried out the experiment, the atom was thought to be a blob of positive charge with negative electrons embedded inside it. Now Rutherford set up an experiment to direct a beam of alpha particles, which he knew to be heavy positively charged particles, and we now know to be the nuclei of helium atoms, through a very thin gold foil. The brass can in the centre of the picture contains a small americium-241 source producing alpha particles. Most of the particles are absorbed in the brass. There is a small opening producing a beam of alpha particles. They pass through a gold foil, which is about 1.5 microns in thickness, and they are then detected by one of the two detectors set up behind the foil. One of the detectors counts particles going straight ahead, which is the majority, and we count a rate of between 1 and 2,000 per second. The second counter, we can move to measure the scattering rate as a function of angle. Now, the experiment that he and his colleagues carried out was very laborious. It involved them sitting for hours in a dark room, holding a tiny fluorescent screen and looking just by eye for flashes of light on the screen. We've replicated that with modern detector technology. In its current position, behind the foil, it will measure one count every few seconds. As Rutherford deduced, most of the gold atom's empty space, so the alpha particle just goes straight through, doesn't see anything, and goes through in a straight line. Occasionally, one of the particles will come close enough to the nucleus of the gold atom that it will be deflected by the electric field from the positive nucleus. If it comes at a glancing blow, it will be deflected through a small angle. If it hits it head on, it will just bounce straight back. And it's fascinating, I think, to them that this was telling us something very important that we didn't know about the very deep structure of matter. It showed that the atom had a heavy nucleus with mostly empty space with electrons distributed around it, which is exactly the picture we now have. It was also the start of particle physics. What Rutherford was doing, what we're doing here, is taking a beam of particles, firing them at a target, looking at the way the particles are scattered, and from that deducing what was going on inside the target. And 100 years ahead, we now have the Large Hadron Collider, where we do the same thing. We fire a beam of particles at a target. In that case, the target is another beam coming and tries to deduce what was going on in the collision from the behavior of the scattered particles. And all that comes from Rutherford's original idea of firing a beam at a target. So in a century, we've come from an apparatus that would fit on the desk, that was at the cutting edge of physics, to the Large Hadron Collider, which is 27 kilometers in circumference. What was happening was that the alpha particles were going through and missing the nucleus, because the nucleus is extremely small, and the atom, by comparison, is very big, so it's almost all empty space. And we had to wait a long time before one of those alpha particles hit the nucleus almost head-on and bounced back into our detector.
This is the Rutherford experiment apparatus. Alpha particle emitter, gold foil, detection screen, slits. Procedure. These are the alpha particles. They emits from emitter and they are passing from the screen 1, screen 2 through this screen. They are falling on gold foil, and after that they get emitted on this circular path, and few rays are going back from the screen of gold foil. So if you will go in detail, path of alpha particles hitting the foil, so you can observe here how they are hitting, how the nucleus is there. If someone falls on its nucleus, then they are having back direction. They are going at backward direction, like you all have seen the direction of this alpha particles, like this way. If suppose nucleus is there, then whichever rays are falls on it, they are having a back, or like they are going back to their direction, and few are crossing it this way. I stop my explanation over here. Listen carefully which I have shown in video, and see the video properly. You will get an idea for Rutherford experiment. Read it carefully, all this concept which is very very important and which is very new. So read it twice, thrice. Okay, thank you.